I'm a photographer, writer, activist. I live and work in Bangladesh. I run 3 institutions in Bangladesh and one based in London. So the first is the Drik Agency, which is a photo library. It's the first photo library in Bangladesh and was basically set up as a platform for local storytellers to tell their stories. We were very concerned that, to a very large extent, stories about Bangladesh were written by white Western photographers on visiting assignments. And we felt that we needed a more sensitive, more accurate, and more honest portrayal of our cultures. So that was how the agency was set up. And then as we went along, we recognized that it was also necessary to, if you had to fight a fight, you needed warriors. So we set up a school of photography, Pathshala. That was later. The agency was set up in 1989. The school was set up in 98. And soon after we set up the school, we set up the Festival of Photography, which was the first festival of photography in Asia. Now it's very well established, but at that time it was a small festival, but it became the precursor of all the other festivals that have since grown. Well, it's some time since I've been in Egypt. The last time I was here was just before Tahrir Square. In between, some of my students had come to Egypt and they did a workshop here along with Egyptian students and one of our partner organizations from Norway. And I saw the work, but I hadn't been in touch with my friends who'd seen them. So it was I was very excited about the possibility of coming. Also because I've not traveled for a year, because of COVID. Pretty much everything was closed. So this was a great opportunity for me. It was not going to be easy because there's so many things happening back home, coordinating, making the schedules, but your team over here was so fantastic in trying to anticipate everything. And we had that last minute scare about whether the visas would come in and all that sort of thing, but it was managed. I'm here, and apparently I've got a COVID certificate to go back as well. I would love to come back again and spend some quality time. What I've missed is the fact that I haven't had a chance to see as much work as I'd like to. I haven't had a chance to meet as many photographers as I'd like to. But because of the events you organized, hopefully some of them will know about what we are doing, and perhaps remotely we can still engage. I know several photographers have contacted me saying they want me to see the work. So I think this is a new beginning and I'm quite excited. The world of photography has changed with digital technology, with the availability of cameras, with the internet. It is a very different situation, but I don't think the core principles of photography has changed. And in fact, I think a lot of the industry tries to portray the technology as the savior, the tool. I think it's manufacturer's myth. They need us to constantly change lenses, change cameras, get the latest, more pixels and things like that. But at the end of the day, that is a very tiny part of the photographic process. I think what really photography relies upon is people's sensitivity, their insight, the human contact, and their storytelling abilities, and those have not changed the slightest. I think in some ways it is better because photography is now more ubiquitous, it's more accessible, the barriers are lower, and I think that's healthy. It also means that if you really want to be a photographer, you've got to make sure that your work rises above the noise. Because photography is so ubiquitous, there is the risk of things being flooded, and finding those nuggets requires someone to dig a lot more than you once had to do. Nuggets should always be worth digging for. There was a time when the publisher was king. They were the ones who controlled everything. They decided what got published, if it got published today. If you're smart, if you are skilled, you can be your own publisher and you can have a statement out there. You can challenge the giants. That was not possible before. I live and breathe for what I want tomorrow to be. I've been born in this planet, and I would like to think that my life has mattered, has made a difference. If all I've done is gone along a career path and acquired things and gone away, I don't think I've lived. So I see the injustice in the world. I see what I can do towards hopefully making a change. And I think every moment of my life should be dedicated to bringing about that change. And I'm driven to that extent. When I go to sleep at night, I'm rearing to wake up tomorrow morning for what tomorrow might offer. Not all of it is rosy. It never promised it to be. And I think you take on those challenges, and that is part of what being a human being is about.